Always wear proper eye and ear protection when repairing or servicing tires and wheels. Work in well-ventilated areas or wear a mask when using rubber cleaner in cements. Avoid prolonged skin exposure to rubber cleaner. When servicing commercial truck, tractor, or OTR tires, follow guidelines as outlined in OSHA Regulation 29, CFR 1910.177, or other government regulations that may apply. MSDS are available on our website at tech-international.com. Before attempting to repair any tire, it must be removed from the wheel and placed on a tire spreader in a well-lit area. The technician should systematically examine the tire for damage and mark all damaged areas with a tire crayon or paint stick. The technician should be aware of the company's repair policy, as well as those of the tire manufacturer and Tech International. Tire industry recommendations, along with the service application, speed rating, and construction, must be considered when determining repair limitations. Warning: before dismounting or repairing a tire, always ask the customer if an aerosol sealant was used to inflate, seal the tire. Aerosol sealants may contain a highly volatile gas. Always remove the valve core in a well-ventilated area, away from sources of excessive heat, flame, or sparks, and completely deflate and reinflate the tire 3 times before removing it from the rim for repair. Tires with the following conditions should not be repaired or should be sent to a full-service repair facility. Potential zipper rupture. Light and medium truck tires or any tire with steel radial cables that has been run at less than 80% of recommended air pressure or overloaded must be treated with caution. Tires in this condition may suddenly fail, causing serious injury or death. Any tire with steel radial cables must be examined closely for signs of sidewall cable fatigue caused by overloading or underinflation. If a tire is suspect, it should be inspected for ripples or bulges in the sidewall, discolored inner liner, protruding wires, and so forth. If none of these signs are present and the tire is repaired, it must be inflated to 20 psi above operating pressure in a safety cage, then lowered to operating pressure before returning to service. Refer to RMA Tire Information Service Bulletin, Volume 33, Issue 3, Inspection Procedures to identify potential zipper ruptures in steel cord radial truck, bus, and light truck tires. Ozone cracking. The ozone and ultraviolet rays of the sun can actually cause severe cracking of the sidewall rubber. If the cracking is so severe that cords are exposed, or if the cracks form continuous lines, the tire is non-repairable. Injury greater than maximum size limitations. Industry recommendations for tire repair state that injuries up to 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters in the crown area of a passenger tire and 3/8 inch or 10 millimeters in the crown area of a light truck or medium truck tire are considered a nail hole. Tires with larger injuries or injuries located in the shoulder and sidewall should be referred to a full-service repair facility. Tech's inspection tool, number TRT-105, is used to determine the injury size and angle. Run flat or underinflated. Any tire in this condition should not be repaired. Tires run in this condition may exhibit discoloration of the inner liner, ripples or bulges in the sidewall, or separation due to heat and rim chafing. Remember, if the tire has steel radial cords, it must be inspected and treated as a potential zipper rupture, as mentioned at the beginning of this chapter. Casing separation. Any tire exhibiting rubber, tread belt, or ply separation must not be repaired. Excessive tread wear. Never repair a tire worn to the tread wear indicators or with 2/32 of an inch, 1.5 millimeters, or less of tread depth remaining. Exposed plies, cables. A tire must not be repaired if fabric and/or steel plies are exposed due to sidewall scuffing or excessive wear. Deformed bead, exposed fabric, or steel. Never repair a tire with kinked or broken beads. Tires with exposed fabric or steel in the bead area should be referred to a full-service repair facility. If the injury angle exceeds 25 degrees, the tire should not be repaired with a Uniseal repair. A two-piece repair method must be used. In this demonstration, we will use a UL6 250UL Uniseal Ultra to repair a 6 mm, 1/4 inch crown injury in a passenger tire. We will also highlight key points to remember when repairing a medium truck tire using the UL10 291UL Uniseal Ultramax. These are the tech repair materials and accessories available for this type of repair. Additional information about recommended tools is available in Chapter 7 of this DVD or in Tech Repair Manual RM4. During the inspection, locate and mark the damage on the outside and then the inside of the tire with the tire crayon. Remove the penetrating object from the tire if present. Note the angle at which the object penetrated the tire. Now continue the inspection and probe for ply separation. If separation is found, the tire should be scrapped or sent to a full-service repair facility. Tech's TRT-105 inspection tool enables the technician to precisely measure the size of the injury and the angle of the injury, minimizing the chance of enlarging the damaged area. Here we can see the injury has accepted the tool just below the second line. This calls for the use of a UL6 250UL repair for a 6 mm, 1/4 inch injury. If the injury angle exceeds 25 degrees, a two-piece repair must be used. Extreme angles put excessive stress on the repair where the cap and the stem are attached. After removing the inspection tool, pre-clean a large area of the inner liner by applying Tech 704 Rub-O-Matic rubber cleaner. While the area is still moist, use a rubber scraper to remove contaminating substances. This process should be repeated 2 or 3 times to guarantee complete removal of contaminants, such as silicone mold lubricants used in the tire's manufacturing process. The important thing to remember is that the area must be cleaned. Center a 111 TM repair template over the injury and using a tire paint stick, trace around the edge of the template. This line will serve as a guide for mechanical buffing of the inner liner. Use of the template ensures that a large enough area will be buffed. Next, mechanically buff within the marked area using a low RPM buffer and an appropriate buffing wheel to achieve an RMA number 1 or number 2 buff texture. Do not exceed 5,000 RPM. If the speed of the air tool exceeds 5,000 RPM, scorching of the rubber surface will occur, which will greatly reduce the adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner. Mechanical buffing ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner by creating a clean, textured surface. Use the appropriate size carbide cutter in a low-speed drill, maximum 1,200 RPM, to properly prepare the injury. The low-speed drill eliminates the possibility of scorching the rubber. Following the angle of the injury, cut from the inside using a clockwise rotation. Repeat this process a minimum of 3 times. Now, repeat this procedure 3 times from the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Because of the increased thickness and amount of steel in a radial truck tire, the injury should be drilled 5 times from each direction. Proper drilling with the appropriate size carbide cutter ensures complete damage removal while preventing future injury growth. Using a soft wire brush on a low RPM air tool, lightly buff from the right side of the prepared surface to the left side. You may need to repeat this process a second time to assure that all buffing dust and steel shavings are removed. Do not use a compressed air line for this procedure. The air may contain moisture and oil that will contaminate the buff surface. Vacuum all buffing dust and steel shavings from the tire. When using a brush for cleaning, avoid touching the buff surface with the vacuum. This will lead to contamination of the buff surface. Cement the injury from inside the tire using Tex 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid and a spiral cement tool with a clockwise rotation. This procedure should be repeated 3 to 5 times depending on the thickness of the tire. It's important to leave the cement tool in the injury as you proceed to the next step. Next, apply a thin, even coat of chemical vulcanizing fluid to the buff surface of the inner liner. Do not apply vulcanizing fluid to unprepared surfaces. This could lead to contamination of the repair area. Allow approximately 3 to 5 minutes to dry. Additional drying time is required in cold and humid climates. While the chemical vulcanizing fluid dries, remove the Uniseal Ultra repair unit from its protective wrapping as shown, without touching the gray cushion gum. Touching the cushion gum will cause contamination that may lead to repair failure. Apply Tex 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid to the black tapered area of the stem only. This ensures proper lubrication to make the application of the repair unit easier. Make sure the tire beads are relaxed. Remove the spiral cement tool. Feed the wire of the Uniseal Ultra into the injury from the inside of the tire. Next, grasp the wire on the outside of the tire with a pair of pliers and carefully begin to pull the Uniseal Ultra into the injury from the inside of the tire. Pull until the repair unit seats against the inner liner. Do not overpull. This will cause dimpling and possible breakage of the stem. Once the Uniseal Ultra is in place, press down the repair unit with your thumb. Now stitch the repair unit down from the center outward. This process removes any air which might be trapped between the repair unit and the inner liner of the tire. Exert firm pressure on the stitcher to maximize adhesion. Remove the blue poly, thumb, and stitch the edges. Then repeat stitching in the opposite direction. Make sure to remove the clear protective covering from the repair. If you are repairing a tube-type tire, cover the repair with Tech Tire Talc number 706 to prevent the repair unit from vulcanizing to the tube. When repairing a tubeless tire, coat the buffed area with Tech number 738 Security Coat. Security Coat assures proper air retention by coating all of the overbuffed area. In a short time, Security Coat will turn black, indicating that it is completely dry. The tire can be remounted before Security Coat has completely dried. Next, go to the outside of the tire and cut off the Uniseal Ultra stem approximately 1/8 inch, 3 millimeters above the tire's outer surface. The Uniseal Ultra stem is now properly in place. The tire can now be returned to service. Uniseal Ultra repairs assure a permanent leak-free repair that will give your customers many more safe, trouble-free miles. Tech's Uniseal Ultra repairs provide a fast, simple, safe method to permanently repair punctures in motorcycle and passenger tires. Uniseal Ultra and Uniseal Ultra Max repairs are recommended for repairing radial or bias truck and farm tires. These repairs meet or exceed published tire industry guidelines, tire manufacturers' warranties, and have passed federal new tire test standards FMVSS 109 and FMVSS 139. The injury is permanently sealed and vulcanized by the Uniseal Ultra stem, while the cap seals the inner liner. The Uniseal Ultra stem and cap are covered with a thick gray cushion gum, which allows both stem and cap to vulcanize the tire. In addition, a wire is manufactured into the stem of the Uniseal Ultra and Uniseal Ultra Max to make installation of each repair unit much easier. The Uniseal Ultra Max feature a special cross-weave reinforcement for radial or bias ply tires. Tech Uniseal Ultra and Uniseal Ultra Max repairs are the preferred choice of many tire professionals. Tech Uniseal Ultras provide fast, permanent, safe repairs for prepared injuries from 3 millimeters, 1/8 inch, to 13 millimeters, 1/2 inch sizes. One of the most popular methods being used today to repair nail hole injuries in passenger, truck, agricultural, and industrial tires is the Tech two-piece repair system. The two-piece repair method consists of a separate rubber stem and repair unit to properly repair nail hole injuries. This repair meets all tire manufacturers' requirements and published industry recommendations for proper nail hole repair. This demonstration will feature the two-piece stem and repair unit method. The following procedures should be followed when repairing all steel radial constructed tires. These are the Tech products and accessories used for the two-piece stem and repair unit method. Additional information about recommended tools is available in Chapter 7 of this DVD or in Tech Repair Manual RM5. Careful inspection is of major importance to ensure a properly repaired tire. Thorough inspection will help prevent returning an unsafe tire to service. After locating the injury, mark the area with a tire crayon. If present, remove the injuring object. Also, note the angle of the injury. Use a TRT 105 injury measuring tool to probe the injury to determine its size and angle and to determine if any separation is present. Shown is the correct method to find the size and angle of the injury. If the angle exceeds 25 degrees, a two-piece repair system must be used. The injury has been determined to be 10 millimeters, 3/8 inches. Now refer to Tech two-piece repair chart, CAT number 2PC, to determine the proper size repair unit. We are repairing a radial truck tire. We know the injury in this tire is in the crown area, and our injury size is 10 millimeters or 3/8 inches. The proper Tech repair unit for this two-piece repair is the CT20. Apply 704A Rubomatic rubber cleaner to the area being repaired. While the area is still moist, use a rubber scraper to clean the injured area. Repeat this process 2 or 3 times to assure that all lubricants, silicones, and other contaminating substances have been removed. This improves adhesion and prevents contamination of the buffing wheel during the mechanical buffing operations. Use the appropriate size carbide cutter, in this case a CC10, in a low-speed drill, maximum 1200 RPM, to prepare the injury. Following the angle of the injury, begin drilling from the inside of the tire with the drill turning in a clockwise direction. The low-speed drill eliminates the possibility of scorching the rubber. Repeat this process at least 5 times when repairing a truck tire. Now repeat this procedure 5 times from the outside of the tire to assure proper injury preparation. Proper drilling with the appropriate size carbide cutter ensures complete damage removal while preventing future injury growth. Using the spiral cement tool, thoroughly cement the injury 3 to 5 times from the inside using Tech 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid. Leave the spiral cement tool in the injury after the final cementing procedure to assure that the cement remains moist in the prepared injury channel. Now remove the blue poly from the stem. Apply Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid to the tapered area of the stem. Then remove the spiral tool and immediately push the wire through the injured area. Next, from the outside of the tire, grasp the wire with a pair of pliers and begin to pull the stem through the tire injury. Continue pulling the stem until 3 mm (1/8 inch) to 6 mm (1/4 inch) remains above the inner liner surface. Center the CT20 repair template directly over the injury and mark around its perimeter to serve as a guide for buffing. Next, using a fine grit inner liner buffing wheel on a low RPM air tool, mechanically buff the stem flush with the inner liner. Continue buffing within the previously outlined area. Buffing the inner liner to an RMA number 1 or RMA number 2 texture ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the tire by creating a clean, even velvet texture. Using a soft wire brush on a low RPM air tool, lightly buff from the right side of the prepared surface to the left side. You may need to repeat this process a second time to assure that all buffing dust and steel shavings are removed. Do not use a compressed air line for this procedure. The air may contain moisture and oil that will contaminate the buff surface. Vacuum all buffing dust and steel shavings from the tire. When using a brush for cleaning, avoid touching the buff surface with the vacuum. This will lead to contamination of the buff surface. Apply a thin, even coat of Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid number 760 to the clean, buffed area. Always apply the vulcanizing fluid from the center out. Do not cement beyond the buffed area. Allow 3 to 5 minutes for the vulcanizing fluid to dry. Extended drying time may be needed under adverse weather conditions. Make sure the beads of the tire are in a relaxed position before installing the repair unit. Break the perforation of the blue poly backing on the repair unit. Peel the blue poly approximately halfway back. To avoid contamination, be careful not to touch the gray cushion gum. Center the repair unit directly over the injury, aligning the repair unit bead arrow with either bead of the tire. Place the center of the repair down first. Press down the center with your thumb, and then stitch. Remove the remainder of the blue poly. Then thumb and stitch from the center out. The repair should also be stitched in the opposite direction to ensure that no air is trapped under the repair. Remove the clear poly from the Centec repair unit. Tech repair units are designed for easy identification. In the event that the radial tire is of tube-type construction, apply Tech Tire Talc number 706 to prevent the gray cushion gum edge of the repair unit from vulcanizing to the tube. When repairing a tubeless tire, as in this case, apply security coat around the edge of the repair unit to ensure good air retention to the exposed buffed area. Security coat will dry to a black coloring. Next, go to the outside of the tire and cut off the remaining portion of the stem, approximately 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters above the tire surface. The tire can now be returned to service. This repair method has become extremely popular within the tire industry because of its simplicity, while still providing a professional, permanent repair which meets all industry requirements. The two-piece repair system is the ultimate repair method to be used for angled injuries greater than 25 degrees. The two-piece repair system can also be used for straight-through injuries. Tech Uniseal Ultra stems are now produced with a lead wire for quick and easy installation. Tech Uniseal Ultra stems and repair units are covered with a thick layer of soft gray cushion gum, which allows both the stem and repair unit to vulcanize to themselves and to the tire. Notice the outline of gray cushion gum that will vulcanize the stem to the tire and permanently seal the injury. These are the tools Tech recommends for proper tire repair. The TRT-105 injury measuring tool provides a quick, accurate method to determine the exact size of the injury for complete damage removal without enlarging the injury. Tech carbide cutters are produced from high-quality carbide steel for long life and precisely sized for each repair from 1/8 inch, 3 mm injuries to 1/2 inch, 13 mm injuries. Rubber hog buffing wheels provide optimum texture and adhesion of Tech tire repairs. The compact design of the RH140 provides a quick and easy method to buff the inner liner of low-profile performance tires. The RH107 size works well in commercial truck tires. The fine grit of the S2027 and S2029 are recommended for tires with thin inner liners. Tech's S1036 low-speed air buffer with S1037 rear exhaust kit prevents scorching the buff surface, as well as prevents contamination from debris and moisture when working inside the tire. Tech recommends using the S1035 500 RPM air drill, fully equipped with quick change chuck and rear exhaust hose for use with all carbide cutters. The drill's low speed and high torque prevents scorching the injury while providing plenty of power to drill out larger injuries.